Hey guys, it's Domination Productions here bringing you guys another video. So this video is going to be talking about U-Haul in my childhood Kmart store once again. Just want to give you guys a little bit of an update on what's been going on to the former Kmart store, otherwise known as my childhood store. And what I've noticed is they have taken down the canopy. If you guys don't know, the canopy was basically, it used to say Big Kmart on it, and it used to say Lawn and Garden and stuff like that. And U-Haul actually took that sign down now, and I was so worried that they might have started demolishing the building, but I don't think that's possible. But now, for some reason, U-Haul's been in there since Kmart left in July of 2020, and a few weeks after they left, U-Haul moved in there, and apparently, they started to do work in the former Kmart building, and I noticed the lights were on in the main building, and the doors were open to the doors that led to the main building of the former Kmart store. Now, what's interesting is that building has been sitting there since 1970. I'm just gonna go back to a little bit of a history lesson of how this all started out when Kmart was here, and I'm not gonna go all the way back to when it first opened, but I'm just gonna go back a little bit. So apparently on May 28th of this year, Transform Co. for some stupid reason listed more store closures, and my dog is barking. And apparently the last Kmart in North Dakota was listed there, and the last Kmart in New Hampshire was also listed to close by July of 2020. This is something I didn't realize until later on, until June 2nd of 2020. June 2nd of 2020 was when I started, God damn it, shut up, dog. So June of 2020 is when I noticed that it was going to be closing. It was closing. So, and pretty much at the same time, I was kind of upset and mad at the same time, as well as being happy at the same time. And you guys probably know I was secretly against my Kmart store since I was 10 years old. And mainly I started hating them in 2013, mainly because I didn't like the fact that they have very, very obsolete products, and they weren't updating their stores anymore. And pretty much that, they just lost a lot of money, and they pretty much, weren't revenating anymore. And from time to time, they weren't updating their layouts anymore, or updating their store layouts and their, everything that they have done over the years. Pretty much that, over the years, Kmart Sears had a lot of poor management history from around 2002 when Charles Conoway was CEO of Kmart, and around that same time when Alan Lacey, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but he was still the CEO of Sears until 2004 and 2005. And I don't blame what Alan Lacey did in 2004 when he approved the Kmart and Sears merge. And I'm pretty sure he quit around 2005, and I think it was because Eddie, for some stupid reason, decided to take that name, Sears Holdings, away from him and gave it to somebody else. So, so pretty much, I was kind of talking about my, you guys probably know on YouTube, I was talking about my store for a little while, and about updates of what was happening, and around the same time, the store was kind of slowly emptying out, and apparently, they started too soon, because, the last time I was there, was in July of 2019. And what's interesting is I wasn't there for about a year, and no one pretty much was going there anymore. People pretty much stopped going there over the years because people have better things to do than just going into a once popular retailer and just sit in line for like almost half an hour. And it's really sad that Walmart pretty much had to kill it, but I don't think it literally it's half of their fault. It's literally Eddie's fault as well. And speaking of him, and then he pretty much bought Kmart's debts around the time that I was born in 2003, and with his own ESL investment company, which no one even fucking cares about. And this isn't funny anymore. This is so sad that people have to lose a job like that. And around the same time, he was in now control of Sears around 2004. He took control, and then he managed to buy Kmart and Sears, and pretty much wanted to merge it with Kmart. And let me explain something to you guys. Eddie wasn't CEO until 2013. 2013 was when things started to go downhill a lot since he took control in 2013 as CEO. A lot of people, for him, people are defending him and people are criticizing him and everything. And, people are making fun of him as well on Facebook and stuff like that. But that's a topic for another video. And later on, during liquidation sales of my childhood Kmart store, I pretty much wasn't there until July 17th. And July 17th was a really bad day because that day was so crappy. The weather was so crappy. I was there before a severe storm came in. And July 17th, by the way, was my official final day at my childhood Kmart store. And unfortunately, their last day was July 19th, and unfortunately I couldn't make it because it was a Sunday. That was a Sunday, and I wish it didn't close on a Sunday, but things, there's only so much you can do in a company like Kmart and Sears, and if there's always got to be dumb people that have to have some stupid shitty moves to these companies, and not very good CEOs that manage to pay their debts and have assets and stuff like that. And once a retailer gets announced to close, there is not much you can do about that situation. Pretty much you cannot control of what others do. And it's really unfortunate because, it's, so sad that these people have to lose a job like that. And what's also interesting is those former employees that are now retiring now, but they've been working there since it first opened in 1970. So, they've been working there since Kmart first opened here in 1970. And back in that time, they were very, very young, and they're pretty much now retiring because I'm pretty sure they're probably in their 60s or 70s now. It's also interesting is Little Caesars was in there. I'm pretty sure that opened up later on. I don't know when or anything, but I know for a fact that I remember when Little Caesars used to be in there years ago when I was growing up at that store. And what's also interesting is, unlike anything else, our Kmart did not have a pharmacy. It was really odd that our store never had a pharmacy and really never had the chance. Because most of those stores had a pharmacy, and most of those closed, I think, before liquidation sales started for the other stores that were closing in the 2010s. Not the early 2010s, but like in the late 2010s when Eddie was starting to close more down, and he was doing a lot of damage to the company. I'll explain about him in a little bit, though, of why I think he needs to be fired and stuff like that. and also gonna make fun of him as well. And again, there's always so much you can do about a company that's not doing well anymore. And there's always going to be poor management and everything like that. And what's also interesting is, my childhood Kmart store, they had painted over. They had a little bit of renovation on the outside of where the sign used to be. I remember they had that painted. There was paint on near the sign, like they had those stripes on the outside of the exterior. And what's also, I think that was really interesting, but it was kind of ugly at the same time. And what's also interesting is, they used to have, years ago, they used to have a photo center. I'm pretty sure not many people remember that, but it's kind of, if you guys don't know what a photo center was, they basically had it's kind of like what they used to have a portrait studio. They had a portrait studio in their sort of thing. And apparently, as you guys probably know, Barlow's used to be in there years ago, and that closed up years later. And my brother used to shop there as well in the 1990s. And even myself used to shop there as a kid in the 2010s. And also, what was really interesting is the garden shop was closed for the remainder of the store's existence. And then U-Haul apparently took over the former Kmart building a few weeks after Kmart closed up permanently. The last Kmart closed up permanently. And people managed to stop going there. Last year in July 2019, when I was there last July, it was completely dead. Barely saw 2 to 4 people in the store besides the associates. There was like nobody in there. Not like what it was years ago when it used to be packed, and now it's like boom, it's dead. And when Walmart opened up here in the 1990s here in Minot, I'm pretty sure that people pretty much managed to stop going to Kmart and started going to Walmart instead. And that's when Walmart pretty much killed it. And, okay, now I'm going to talk about Eddie himself. Now, if you guys don't know, he was the CEO of Sears Holdings, I think, until they filed for bankruptcy. And let me explain something to you guys. I really don't trust Eddie anymore. It's really getting to the point where he's literally doing this. He's closing these stores down for no fucking reason. He's doing this on purpose just to embezzle money. And if you guys don't know, he's I'm not going to go into detail too much, but he was pretty much like I said, he was the CEO of Sears Holdings from 2013 up until 2018. And then later on, in 2019, he created his own company called Transform Co., otherwise known as New Sears. And Eddie Lampert himself, he pretty much bribed the bankruptcy judge saying, hey, I still want control of this company. I still want control of Sears. And the judge was like, yep, we'll just let him continue controlling Sears and see what will happen. See what happens in the future with the company. And, man, that judge was such an idiot. I mean, he should have just fired him. I mean, he's been closing these stores down, mainly. He's done a lot more damage. If you look and compare that to Charles Conaway from 2002, you can definitely tell that Eddie himself has done a lot more damage than Charles Conaway. And what's also interesting is he's already been accused of stealing from the company. Old Sears, aka Sears Holdings, filed a lawsuit against him in March of 2019, and nothing happened. And to this day, he's still closing stores down. One thing I hope he gets one of these days is COVID. Yes, that disease that I'm not going to talk about in this video because I don't want my video to get deleted from YouTube. I hope he gets COVID. That's the only thing I hope he gets, because if he does get that disease, I would love to have him suffer from it. That that would be my pleasure to have him suffer. And one of these days, I would love to just throw Eddie Lampert in a Kmart prison yard. I would love to just throw him in a Kmart prison yard and lock him up there and have him cry like a baby. and Or I can just throw him in City View Center. I can just at City View Center, I would just throw him there in one of the abandoned buildings there and lock him up in one of the abandoned retailers there. One of the abandoned buildings. I would lock him up in the abandoned Walmart at City View Center and let him suffer from methane gas. And, yeah. And Lampert's just becoming a Ben show, really just becoming just a fucking asshole and a fucking criminal he is. And I've been hearing that Transform Co. is going to be liquidating all their assets by January of 2021. And, that's a potential that they might file for Chapter 7 liquidation. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to file for Chapter 7 liquidation, because unfortunately if they were to do that, that would kill the rest of the company off. And I tell you what right now, that's just something I've been worrying about for a while now, because there's rumors going around about that. I mean, I'm so sick of this dumbass getting away with shit, and he's literally doing this just to illegally steal money, and I would just love to kick him right in the balls and love to watch him hit the floor and watch him bleed on the floor. And I would definitely, if I were ever the chance to see Eddie Lampert in person, I would definitely punch him really hard until he starts bleeding to death. And I tell you what right now, I don't know what his purpose of these stores are, but he literally just wants to just literally steal money and just be a rich man. I don't understand what the purpose of him is. Again, I don't know why he's still trying to close stores down. He's done a lot more damage, but I hope he gets arrested one of these days, and hopefully somebody else can take over his position, because again, I would love to have him locked up in a Kmart prison yard and just have him cry like a baby, and maybe just have him locked there until he dies. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, everybody.